People We Meet on Vacation is the brand new movie that just hit Netflix this past Friday. The film comes from director Brett Haley, who's directed two of in my opinion, the most underrated movies in the history of Netflix original movies, which are both movies that came out in 2020, All Together Now and All the Bright Places. This movie is based on a very acclaimed novel. The film stars Tom Blythe as Alex and Emily Bader as Poppy, two friends who grew up around the same area but didn't really meet each other until college in Boston. And when they become friends, they make a commitment to each other that every summer they go travel somewhere, every summer, somewhere, no matter what their jobs are, what the relationship status is. They take a week out of their summer to travel, if it's go to a different country, a different city, something. And as these years go on, they might be actually having some feelings for each other. The film is an hour and 57 minutes and is PG-13. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new review here at Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinenberg. So if you guys are new, please hit that subscribe button. I got to such a big milestone on my channel, 400 subscribers. My next big milestone is 500 subscribers, so please ring the bell and please subscribe. It really means a lot to me. I do movie and TV show reviews, added theater reactions, movie franchise rankings, box office breakdown shows. I do it all, so please subscribe if you like any one of those things. Comment down below. What are your thoughts, guys, on People We Meet on Vacation? First of all, have you read the book? Was this your introduction to this movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And also, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. So, these are the type of movies that I usually am not that into. I am not someone who sits down and wants to watch romantic movies, but as someone who covers every single Netflix original movie, I probably watch 5 to 10 of these type of movies on a consistent basis over the last, I would say, 6 to 7 years. And so I never really have any expectations with these movies. I like Tom Blythe, really liked him in Hunger Games, but other than that, that's kind of my only read coming into this movie. Didn't know the plot, didn't know anything, didn't read the book. So that was my introduction coming into People We Meet on Vacation. I will say, this movie was definitely better than I was expecting coming in, knowing my very low bar for this genre. But this is not a romantic movie, a rom-com that blew me away. It's not a rom-com that I think is the most memorable rom-com you'll ever watch, but I do think overall it's a very enjoyable experience. The movie, I think what sells the movie is the two leads. I've never seen Emily Bader before, and the first 20 minutes I was kind of getting nervous, not for the actress, but because they wrote the character to be so unlikable. I was kind of nervous, how could they sustain her from being likable for the remainder hour and a half of the movie? But they did. Bader is really charismatic in the leading role. It's definitely her movie, I would say, more than Tom Blythe's. And she's very good. She definitely can play the comedy quite well. But the surprising part for me was I thought she played the actual serious moments the best in the entire film. As her character has a job where she travels across the world and writes basically journals or writes for this company about her travels, the hotel where she stayed, and all this stuff as a living. And the fact that it seems like a dream life that she's never really in reality because she's traveling to France, to Italy, all these other places, and she's never really at home, while Tom Blythe's living a very much a home life. Alex, the character, a home life who wants to be just home, working from his hometown, and doesn't and sees that as reality. I thought they're a really good match, both from a platonic perspective and obviously as the romantic flares start to heat up. Tom Blythe is another person I just really like. I think he plays one of the more relatable characters on the show because, again, I don't think a lot of us can compare ourselves to Poppy because she's, again, someone who's traveling the world on a daily basis. A lot of us relate to Alex, who's someone who really takes pride in where he's from and doesn't understand why people laugh at the fact that he loves his hometown, finds it as home, lives in a very much a family-like house, as you'll see in the movie. And I think he's a very relatable, real character. And you can understand at times the disagreements that Poppy and Alex will have throughout the entire film. Now, what's also fun about this movie is because we go through 10 years of summer vacations with the two of them. We go to very lavish, lush locations, if it's New Orleans, if it's Italy. So it's a pretty gorgeous movie where we're traveling to and seeing the characters kind of bond as we go on. It's not a bond that's very easy. They're, again, two very different people. But you can kind of tell why it's important for them to have this 1 week to themselves, forget about all of their lives, and just focus on having fun together. And I really enjoyed that. And again, the movie would only crumble if Blythe and Bader would not have chemistry, but they do have very good chemistry. And I think it's like a fine romantic movie. There's definitely some flair towards the third act of the movie. And overall, I was won over by the movie by the end. Now, is this a stereotypical rom-com? Yes. Do you know the twists and the turns that are going to come with this movie? Yes. I think the biggest problem is the first like hour and 10 minutes of the movie is just let's go on vacation, 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 vacation. There's not really much progression plot-wise. Yes, we're building the camaraderie between Poppy and Alex, but there's really like no drama. It's just like they're on vacation, they're having fun, they come back, they go to their lives, and they go back on another vacation. It takes the movie a lot of time to get to actual issues between the characters. Like they allude to something that maybe could be an issue throughout the first act, but you don't really feel like the movie has a much plot and story like momentum. Because it feels like every time they're about to set something up, they're like, here we go, 7 summers ago. And I was like, I kind of want to see what the actual issues are of the characters, but instead we're trying to just like having a good time in all these places. And it makes for like an enjoyable experience, but for like a story momentum perspective, it's not really there. And then when we actually get drama, they kind of cram it all into the last 30 minutes. And I think that the problem with that is some of it comes completely out of the blue, where it's like 1 second the characters are like fully cool with each other, then the next second they absolutely can't like don't like each other in a moment, then another scene later they're back to being cool with each other. Like things just happen so quickly because they have to jam so many of those cliche rom-com twists and turns into the final 20, 30 minutes of the movie. So like the first, I think the pacing can be weird because it's like a enjoyable whatever time, and then they're like, cram, let's get to the real nuts and bolts of the story. So this for me is like a very much a forgettable, like run-of-the-mill rom-com. I think there's enjoyable aspects to it. I like the two leads, and I did have enjoyable enough time, but I don't think this is like a movie that I'm gonna ever think about again for the remainder of the year. I do think it's one of those more forgettable, like okay, but forgettable romantic comedies. So I'm gonna give People We Meet on Vacation a 3 out of 5 stars. I am gonna go 58% for People We Meet on Vacation. What are your guys' thoughts on this movie? Let me know down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.